Hello and welcome to the Facing Your Fears, Turning Fear into Courage. We are working on developing a new perspective, a new perspection on what is going on within our bodies, around us, within us, and in the world. And so the reason I'm working on this is because if we can find a different way of looking at things, whether it's ourselves or others, we can create a new world, a new, what would I say, world of kindness and safety for all. So let's begin with the first area that we can work on our bodies and this vehicle that we're given to travel the world, travel the amount of, I would say, miles and years that we're on the planet. If our perspective of this could change to something positive, could change to something that let's be in gratitude that even if we have aches or pains or something out of order, that our bodies continue to breathe, our hearts continue to beat, we can still do so many things, even if we do feel like there's so many limitations. But it's also taken us a long way on the planet. Many people don't like their bodies. They don't like something about their appearance or whatever it might be. And that hurts our bodies. It hurts this vehicle that we've rented for our time on the planet. Imagine that we would be in gratitude every moment of our lives, that we do have bodies, that we are experiencing this world in a physical sense. And there is so much to experience, whether it's the beauty, the sounds, the smells, the feel of so many different things, the people that we meet that we get to hug or touch. And if we develop a perspective that we're in gratitude for this vehicle we have, our bodies can do better. I know our bodies can heal. I was just telling somebody about how a year ago I was scheduled for surgery on, I think on this shoulder. I couldn't even lift my arm. And now I can do yoga, I can do whatever I need to do. And I looked at alternative treatments and I was able to now have shoulders that work. I think we're going to see more of this as we start to evolve as a planet, that there doesn't have to be invasive kinds of treatments, that our bodies want to be healthy and strong if we give it the right nutrients, we take care of it, we sleep enough, drink enough water, those kinds of things. That's the first perspective I'd love for you to work on, our bodies. Our second perspective is how we emotionally are reacting. And emotions come from our thoughts. So if we're having a negative emotion, it's going to create unhappiness within our body. And if we think about this, if we're thinking of anger, sadness, fear is a big one. Fear is being promoted on every level. You pick up your cell phone, you pick up a computer, whatever it might be, and headlines are going to create fear. Whether it's the weather, whether it's the state of our government, the country, the world, there are wars going on. There's a lot going on. And we could feed that fear, which then is going to again create unrest and awful feelings within our body. Or we can say, I want to do my part. I want to do my part to recycle. I want to do my part to maybe not eat animals. I want to do my part to clean up the world and be aware of what I can do as a person to make things better. But the other part is to believe that we have incredible scientists that are making changes so quickly. I just heard about a car that was developed that they run on a chip for 800 miles. You don't have to use electricity or gas. It's in China. That's what I've heard. I heard that the guy who developed it here was getting death threats because of the dependence on oil and oil companies. And I don't know if that's true, but we do have a car in China right now that can drive 800 miles on a chip. If we can do that, we can change what's going on with drilling and oil and different things that are causing trouble. Other countries have developed plastic that dissolves, we're on the brink of really wonderful things if we start concentrating on what we can create instead of what we fear. So, emotionally, if we're judging, if we're worried, I was raised by one parent who was very critical and scary, and another parent who was a sweetheart, but he worried a lot. And so we're programmed by the people around us on how we're supposed to think. And if our thinking is going towards worry, we're going to create more worry. If it's going towards criticism, we're going to be critical of ourselves and others. We can teach ourselves. I absolutely believe this. We can teach ourselves to come from a different perspective. When my father, 20 some years ago, had a stroke, he was this incredible guy who carried the torch when he was 64, ran in the 84 Olympics, did all these amazing things when he was 64, carrying the torch. He had a stroke and came to live with us. And it was hard because I was a single mom with three kids. There were times my son, who was 12 or 13, carried him up the stairs or did what he had to do. But I had the honor and the privilege of taking care of someone who loved me and I could show him the love back. What if we had that perspective about all the challenges? Anything that comes our way, it's an opportunity to show that we come from love. We're going to live our life in a loving way, and we're going to face challenges with an open heart and the belief that we can handle it. So that's the emotional. Then it's also looking at the rest of the world. As we're looking at the rest of the world, we've been given this life on a planet that is beyond gorgeous. Anytime or any way we've traveled, the things we see, the people we meet, the opportunities we have to learn musical instruments or a new language or be artists or musicians or singers or all these things that we don't even develop the skills and yet we could. What if we created new pathways that our brains and bodies and minds were always looking at what more can I create? What more can I do? But in a gentle manner, not forcing, not being critical, but just allowing good things within us, around us. And if that starts to happen, the energy around us changes, people relate to us in a different way, opportunities come up, and the world could be better, where we could take the basic teachings of all these different religions that try to teach love and acceptance. And with love and acceptance and kindness, every person on this planet could have food and shelter and water. We could have a world of peace, but we've got to create it. And we've got to create it within ourselves with this new perspective, the new perspective of living in grace, living in abundance, living in love, living in kindness. It just takes retraining our brains, retraining these brains that want to go towards disaster, to go toward solutions, to go towards beauty, to go towards connection and support for ourselves and for each other. So, if that's our challenge, what would you like to change as far as your perspective? Is it looking at yourself in a different way? Looking at your neighbors, friends, partners, kids, grandkids, whatever it might be? What do you want to change? I was thinking about I have two beautiful grandchildren, one who's just learning to walk, she's 11 months, and then my grandson who's going to be 3 in about 3 or 4 months. He is just this energetic, enthusiastic, passionate, aware, strong little boy. And after, a while he gets exhausted and he breaks down and he, is on the floor crying or whatever it might be. And my perspective is, look at him releasing all this energy so he gets it out of him. Look at him showing his emotion. Now, I don't have to raise him 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but I see this magnificence in him that he has such strength and such awareness and such sensitivity that sometimes he just has to let it out. Maybe we need to do the same thing. Let out the negative and embrace the positive. Let out any belief we have that's negative programming. Stop feeding the negative, start focusing on the positive. We can turn this around. So we're going to turn fear into courage. We're going to face any fears we have with love, with kindness, with acceptance, and creativity. So thank you so much for joining me today. We're looking at life with a new perspective. This is your challenge. You can do it. Thank you so much.